racing, and they've broken a line. Thursday commences perfectly. Diva Tequila from the 5 spot out nicely. Bebop Baby shades that one, and Celtics Wildcat in the quest to win 3 in a row blows by both of them and takes the lead running away. After that we have Kiba Lucky Day, that's the 4, ridden 3 out of it. After that we have Brahms's Who near the rear with Folk Hero. 12 covers them, and number 1 is number 1 with 3 to go. Celtics Wildcat and leading rider Luis Fuentes 3. Bebop Baby lay second. After that is Kiba Lucky Day to the inside. Then it's about 8 behind that to Diva Tequila, 2.5 more to Folk Hero, and the one in last is Brahms's Who, 15 lengths out of it. And Celtics Wildcat cuts the corner, roused for run, and the lead is 4, trying to win 3 in a row. Kiba Lucky Day at 3.5 to 1, attempting to make it interesting to the outside. After that is Bebop Baby. Celtics Wildcat 2.5, it's diminishing. Kiba Lucky Day cuts it to 1, to a half, to a neck, but missed. 3 in a row for Celtics Wildcat. And they're racing. Masterpiece start for Masterpiece Day, but now that one has been overtaken by Darn Quick and Head for Business. Darn Quick and Head for Business, the 5 and 6 are 5 clear from Masterpiece Day. After that, Libertarian, then it's Pervasive. Way back in last is Tomby. And now Darn Quick, nearly racing in the center of the race course, opens up a length and a half on Head for Business, who now conspicuously is on the inside of that guy. And a headstrong Darn Quick living up to the name, leading it by 5. In second, Head for Business. Then we come back to Masterpiece Day, 12 out of it. Behind that one, Libertarian. After that is Pervasive and Tomby. They race in single file as they head for home. And Darn Quick's lead now is 6, make it 7. Head for Business, quest to win 2 in a row has been thwarted. Then it's Masterpiece Day and Libertarian to the outside, but this is a 1-horse race, and Darn Quick is gone. 7-2-4 in race 2. There they are. And they're racing. Tight start for Mr. Thunderstruck. Golden Bandit. Golden out of the gate at 3-5. Right behind them, Angel's Magic under a very, very tight hold. Angel's Magic about 4 from the front, and now joined by Niles Channel, attempting to win 5 in a row. Now, Angel's Magic is given his head, and he rolls up just outside the pace setter. After that, Skippy Strike, the 10-year-old, lopes along to the outside of Niles Channel. That one is about 4 lengths from the front and nearly the same margin clear from Arrest to the outside of Keen Cat. And in last is Mr. Thunderstruck, 10 from front to back, Golden Band. Bandit and Fuentes 2. Angels magically second 3. Niles Channel now 5 out of it and about 2.5 clear from Keen Cat. Arrest goes on the move to the outside of Skippy Strike, and Mr. Thunderstruck is 8 lengths rearmost, and Golden Bandit continues to cruise along. This time the lead is 3 with a quarter of a mile to go. Make it 4. He's running away from them. Golden Bandit has given them the slip and done so as the People's Choice at 3-5. Angel has no magic today so far. Then it's Arrest inside of that Niles Channel. That winning streak is over, and Golden Bandit absolutely dominated them. It's Golden Bandit, wire to wire. And they're racing in the Adam Daniel Music Classic. And Angie's Rev Rack revs up on the inside with Kelsey Haar and attempts to speed away. Meanwhile, from the outside, Wins and Roberto Morales take the lead and run away, and in tightly is Angie's Rev Rack. After that is Miz and Millions, about 3 lengths from the lead. Outside of that one is Dust Maker. The 3-5 favorite is on the move around the turn, about 1.5 lengths out of it. And now the top 4 are Sardines, separated by 1. After that, the white horse Fox Glove to the inside of Toodaloo, y'all. Then in last is Fat and Furious. The field is covered by 7 pace, very reasonable. And Wins is establishing said tempo at 25-1. Wins trying to blow the tote board to Burnsville, leads it by 1/2. In second, Dustmaker, 1.5 lengths. Fox Glove ships all in, overtaken by Toodaloo, y'all. Rolling up to the outside of Miz and Millions, now in the horse sandwich. Angie's Rev Rack outbroke the field, but now is doing the moonwalk. Then it's Fat and Furious running on from behind. They have 1/4 of a mile to go. Long shot inside, favorite outside, and they're coming home now. And Dust Maker gallops to a narrow lead, but Wins is fighting back tenaciously. Toodaloo, y'all, in the catbird seat if good enough right behind them. Into the final 150. Dust Maker trying to leave them in the dust. It's Dust Maker grinding away. Toodaloo, y'all, surging. Toodaloo, y'all, surging. Toodaloo, y'all. See you in the winner's circle. And they're racing in the 5th at CBY. Run, Bambi, run, comes out nicely from the 2 spot, but that lead has been ceded by I Came to Shame. Now in 3rd is Gigi's Map, just to the inside of Miss Gold. After that, we have Anna. Anna, the Minnesotan, is about 8 lengths from the lead, and a good 5 clear from Delusional Dream. That one is to the inside of Countess of Cairo, and they're about 8-9 lengths from the lead, and Laughing to the Bank is way back in last. Around the turn they go, and they're chasing number 1. I Came to Shame at 50-1. I Came to Shame leads it by 1.5 lengths. In second, Run Bambi Run by 2.5. After that, GG's Map by a nostril to the inside of Miss Gold. Then we come back to Anna, who's on the prowl. Anna's beginning to advance without being asked, and that 7 is on the move. About 5 or 6 clear from Delusional Dream to the inside of Countess of Cairo. From the back of the pack, she's on Easy Street moving in. Likewise for laugh into the bank and they pack up. They are approaching the top of the stretch and it appears wide open. The dreams of the 50-to-1 shot apparently have been dashed as Anna goes from 5th right up to a joint lead between runners. Run, Bambi, run! After that is Miss Gold to the inside of Delusional Dream, and they charge for the money chasing Anna. Anna with the lead. Outside of that, Delusional Dream at 16-to-1. Anna fends the challenge. Delusional Dream puts a nightmare on Anna, and Delusional Dream has done it. And they're racing. Popped as one. Future Perfect off the layoff wins the start. Crocodile Tears flies through on the inside. Big Muckety's right there. St. Charles 2 lengths from the front and wide. And Said Quartet is 6 lengths clear from Too Many Names to the inside of Stability. And the one in last is Husker Butch. And the one in first is Crocodile Tears. Crocodile Tears being badgered by Future Perfect. And they put 2.5 lengths on St. Charles, and Big Muckety, the Okie Colt in his turf debut, is being shoved on right behind the leaders. After that, we have Too Many Names to the inside of Stability. Still nothing from Butch, and they're coming home now. Future Perfect gains the lead from Crocodile Tears. Behind them is St. Charles, and a late charge from Stability. Outside of that, Too Many Names into the final football field. Up top, the leader is Future Perfect. Here's Stability. Future Perfect. Stability. Tight photo. There. And they're racing. After all that, Snowing Confetti came out okay, and so did Lupito to the inside. Between runners, Relentlessly Sweet. Inside of that, She's a Streaking Carte. She's a Streaking Carte, Relentlessly Sweet. Pay the 4 at 4-to-1. There in the gate. There out of the gate. Rough beginning for Moonshine. Swift beginning for She's Hell Bent. BP April is next to the outside, and nothing from that 7. She's Hell Bent with a heavenly performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Jason Gellerstedt leads us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A good afternoon and welcome to beautiful Canterbury Park here in Shakopee, Minnesota. We're under mostly cloudy skies with some light drizzle. The main track is listed at Sloppy, and we are off the turf tonight at Canterbury Park. If you'll get your programs ready, we'll go over the changes on tonight's 8-race card. Race 1 starts the first 5. Those pick 5s have been bountiful with the 10% takeout, and there are no changes in the lid lifter. Race 2, off the turf, as we mentioned, scratch 1, Markin Greeley, 3, Rosenquist, 6, Warchest, and 9, Zumarudi. Race 2 off the turf, scratch 1, 3, 6, and 9. No superfecta now in race 2. Race number 3 is free and clear. No changes on that sloppy track for race number 3. Race 4 starts the final 5, pick 5, scratch number 6, shake up, and put Sophia Barandella on number 5. Race 4, off the turf, scratch the 6, put Sophia on the 5. Late pick 4 starts in race 5, and there are no changes in our 5th race. Race 6, off the turf, a mile on the main track, scratch number 9, Incredible Victor. Make Roberto Morales the jockey on the 13. Roberto Morales rides the 13. Take out the 9 in race 6. Seventh race, again off the turf, 5 furlongs main track. Scratch 8, Summer Russ, 9, Backstage Pass. Scratch 12, Haha Gloria. Put Sophia Barandella on the 2. Put Chelsea Bailey on the 11. Race 7, scratch 8, 9, and 12. Barandella rides the 2. Bailey rides the 11. And finally, in the lucky last, race number 8. One final scratch to report of. In race 8, you're going to scratch number 3, Bahamian Native. In race 8, take out number 3, Bahamian Native. Main track is sloppy. We are off the turf. off the turf tonight here at Canterbury Park. Racing will commence in just over 40 minutes. And right now, an update. Everything that you need to know. Everything important. And all kinds of great entertainment value. We send it over to the TV studio to Mr. Jeff Madej and Ms. Angela Herman.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Important, yes, you can be the judge of that. We do have some information for you, not just about tonight, but about some upcoming events. It is sloppy. It rained a lot. Yes, we're off the turf. Racing's still great. It's a great evening to be at Canterbury Park. Plenty of places to eat and drink, including, and we'll talk about it a little bit, a special martinis and tapas bit, though. But tomorrow, let's look at tomorrow's action. It's Father's Day. There's a food truck festival here. Dozens of food trucks will be here. A little bit of everything. I read you the list. Anything jump out at you? Maybe Kenny's Meatball Wagon?
Well, yeah, or ODB's, the last one.
There's, meet and greet or something
Yeah, the meet
like that.
and greet. Yeah, that one sounds interesting, but you see some of your old favorites and some new additions to the food truck festival that goes on Father's Day. It's a special day out here at the park for all of us. You know, bring Dad out here. It's going to be a nice hot sunny day as opposed to today, I think. And we got all kinds of food then. We have all kinds of food tonight, like you mentioned. We were talking about that before the weekend. Had hairball last night. I mean, the action just never stops. So make sure if you're not out here tonight, get out here tomorrow. Racing starts at 1, and we got food trucks to complement your Father's Day celebration.
Absolutely. Then looking ahead to next weekend, a week from tonight, it is the Northern Stars Turf Festival with 5 turf stakes, some pick 5s in there, pick 4s. It really is a special night of racing, and it has been our biggest handle night each season for the past 3 years.
And the races have lived up to the billing. You know, you do have horses coming in from out of town. I understand Wesley Ward has a couple in here. You got the Lady Canterbury. We were just talking about all kinds of memories of the Lady Canterbury because some of these races go a far back period of time, and you get a variety of connections that have shipped in the past, and it's a common ground. If somebody says, I've never been to Canterbury, maybe they just haven't been here for a few years, because a lot of people that come up here say good things and get into these races. I mean, it makes for a good betting day, too. It just benefits everybody to put all of this together on the same night. And there's the lineup that you see. You got just about a straight shot of turf races, and got race 4 in the middle of it, but there's some good fields, including the Lady Canterbury, that we're going to dissect a little bit later in the week. And I love some of the combatants in there. We won't talk about them yet, but a big night ahead on Northern Starts Turf Festival Saturday.
Absolutely. That's going to be a special night. You're going to want to be here. It's a week from tonight, 5 o'clock, first post. Don't get shut out. Now, on to tonight. Taste of Canterbury. Let's say it's raining outside. You're going to be stuck indoors. Why wouldn't you attend the Martinis and Tapas event taking place on the clubhouse level? You can buy your tickets right outside the door there, but lots to drink, lots to eat.
Always, yes. And this is one of the newer ones this year. We've had some old familiar favorites, you know, tacos and tequila. They're always very popular, but Martinis and Tapas is a different one. You can see some of the offerings that are in the background. Lots of appetizers, finger foods, snack sort of things. You can get a little bit of everything with that and wash it down with a beautiful martini. There's other cocktails available. The full menu is available online, but take a look at CanterburyPark.com. If you're planning on coming out, maybe if you're here and you want to find a nice warm spot with some good food for the races, can't beat that. Taste of Canterbury still has a few tickets available, and that is up on the 3rd level.
It's gloomy. It's rainy. That reminds you of London, and martinis remind you of James Bond. Those things kind of come together, and you attend this event. It's fantastic. Yep. I like a martini, and I might, as a quality control, I'm a quality control agent, so I should probably go down and check it out to make sure that it's good enough for our guests that are going to be attending.
Okay, well, yeah, find Jeff. If he's leaning a little bit this way, definitely worth your money.
On to our Loeffler leaderboard, Ange. Who's our top jock?
Well, you can see it's Luis Fuentes. He's kept his momentum going, and now he's 5 ahead of Eddie Gallardo, but he will be joining us again tonight after a couple of days off. Well, not days off, just days to recover, and he's still 5 behind, but I thought he was going to be maybe off his mounts for another day or two. I like a lot of his horses over the next couple of days, and I think that he has a chance to shrink that gap with Luis Fuentes. They are pretty well ahead of Alonso Quinones, Fausto da Silva, and Serafin Carmona, both just behind him. I don't think that this is ever going to be a race that's going to be too big of a divide unless, some mishap happens again. But they stay competitive with different barns, like you see, that are winning an equal amount of races. So, picking their own steeds or the barns that they ride for has served each of them well, and Cody Rosine remains 1 in front of Mac Robertson. But I think Cody Rosine might win the last tonight. He will not stop winning races through the season if they run as well as they have thus far in the meet. But that is a much tighter race, like we said, than the jockeys race. And sometimes we do see a barn or two pull away. Not the case thus far in the first month.
No, when you look at Cody's got 7 wins from just 12 starts, whereas Max got 6 for 34. So, a lot of it depends on the size of your barn. We saw trainers like Joel Burnt last year. He just dominated, but he also had a large stable. And so, sometimes it's not just the number of wins, but it's how they get them, the prices they're winning at, and that win percentage alone. And that's something that the Steam team, you, Paul, and Kevin, take into account when you give people your winners throughout the night. So keep an eye on this trainer and jockey standings, though, because they can show you trends as we move ahead. Now, if you like your handicapping and you want to give it a try against some others, there's a $40 feeder tonight on your ExpressBet account. You can play it on your phone with your ExpressBet entry. I saw that our friend Trevor Jewell, who's a regular out here at Canterbury Park, he won one the other night. So it can be done. Just go onto your phone, go to the tournaments tab, enter the contest. You can win a $300 entry into next Saturday's Northern Stars tournament, and that can vault you into an even bigger contest where you could end up at the Breeders' Cup. So get involved.
$40 to the Breeders' Cup.
Right.
Sounds
it's
good.
well worth it. If you need past performances, bristnet.com. Each and every race day free. Past performances, just visit bristnet.com, go to their PPs, free PPs, download the Canterbury, and take a shot.
Well, you're going to need those for the pick fives that we have in store. And they start right here in race number 1 in 36 minutes. That's the first 5. You can see that over here. Final 5 starts in race number 4. You're going to need to take another look at your PPs because we did have a number of later scratches once we did move off the turf onto the main track, which is now sloppy. 10% takeout.
Yeah, that's not a typo.
No. Lowest in the universe. 10% takeout on both of our pick fives. There are some changes. Remember, we're off the turf, but we have Paul and Kevin to take us through all of those changes, through all of these races, and that is coming with Today at the Races, brought to you by Touchdown Tile.
Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, check. Oh, what's going on, everybody? Hey, Today at the Races, courtesy of Touchdown Tile, is in the Dark Star press box due to inclement weather. He's Kevin Gorg, and I'm Paul Allen. When it comes to your handicapping, or because I would assume the Saturday card at Canterbury, I mean, you've had done for 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and now we have a sloppy main track. The turf races go to the dirt track, and you have your picks, you have the power play, you put together pick fives, and we have Bet Club. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's tough because half the races tonight we're going to be on the grass, so you have to recalibrate. You have to completely start from scratch with those races. Take a look at who's in, who's out, how it's going to play. Look for horses with experience on either dirt or a wet track. The main track races I didn't really modify much. The power play is a horse in from Chicago who ran on a muddy track last time and actually ran pretty well. So that one doesn't bother me. But the card as a whole, you have to kind of flip it upside down. And you can make money on these nights because you're going to see morning line favorites that we're going to get bet on the turf get bet now just because they have those big buyer speed figures.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can take advantage and find that hidden jewel on a wet track at a big number.
And from a wagering standpoint, watching what happens early in the card, because we still have a steady rain. I mean, it could be just a steady rain throughout the card. My intel is they sealed the racetrack after workouts. They cut workouts early, and then they sealed the track in anticipation of rain hitting. So it's not like we've had a half inch or more of rain today, 3/4 of an inch or more. It's just been steady throughout the day. So watch that dirt track early and see, where they're flying to, because these riders are so sharp. They'll find those right paths, and if you can get in that lightning lane, because that's just how dirt dries. If you can find one of those lightning lanes, you're in business.
Keep an eye on the top jockeys. They always seem to know exactly where their horse is supposed to be. And you and I have talked about this. The track drains from the outside part to the inside part.
Right.
So the inside can be a little boggy sometimes. Just announced race 6, scratch number 1. That's a late addition to all the scratches. Race 6, number 1 is out. And I think the tell today was about 2.5, 3 hours ago, the Twins postponed their 1 o'clock baseball game way ahead of the rain, knowing that it was coming. So we're prepared for it, too. We've got a racetrack that's ready to go. We got jockeys that are ready to run. Horses love to run. Some of them really love to run on a wet track. So this is still going to be a lot of fun. Where else would you rather be?
And finally, when you have sloppy tracks or when you have wet tracks and say they come up speed favoring, I mean, generally most dirt tracks around the country favor speed in the first place for whatever the reason. And it's kind of a speed game, specifically sprinting in the world of horse racing these days. So horses that hit the lead could have an advantage, which means there could be a fair amount of favorites winning on days like this. However, it just takes one strange outsider to rush into the wire. We were talking about that horse earlier. That horse may be 6, 7, 8, 10 to 1. Well, that horse is going to jump out and go to the lead. And sometimes they find tracks like this and they really, really become brave on the lead, or a bunch of them go for it. Then some clipper from 6, 7, 8, 9 lengths out at 30 to 1 comes in and scoops all the chips. This can be very unpredictable today, which means playing the pick 5, specifically here in race number 1, the first 5. It's only 50 cents. We have a 10% takeout nation low, and give these pick 5s a try, specifically on days like this. And if you are a veteran of Canterbury Park, like Kevin said, you know how the incline of that track goes, and you know how it dries out. Maybe you have an advantage. No scratches in race number 1. I pick a 315. Mach 2, who's number 3, is the top selection of Kevin and yours truly.
Yeah, I really like the 3 a lot here. I bet this horse the last time that he ran way back on opening night and ran a really good second to Mr. Insensitive. It was a big crowded field. Horse had a little trouble out of the gate, found his feet, showed all the speed, did all the dirty work, and Mr. Insensitive came and got him late. Some horses have come back to run from that race and run decently. The horse I feared was the 1. And I got to tell you, if this horse is good enough from the inside, first-time starter, pinned on the rail on this track, then I'll tip my hat to Mr. Burnt and I'll move about my business. I like Mach 2 a great deal in race 1. Don't think the price will be terrific, but it might be a pick 5 single for a lot of people like myself. 3, 1, and 5 for me.
Yeah, 3, 1, 5 for me also. And Kevin said something last week with touchdown tiles today at the races about that Mr. Insensitive race. And I think you're going to be right. I mean, there's already a winner out of it in Win Trip. For Mach 2, this is the horse's 3rd race off a layoff. Keeps getting close, but 3rd off the layoff, should be legged up for a top performance here. Or, this one also has lost twice as a betting favorite, and then just this year lost at 4 to 1 and 6 to 1. So obviously you want to win, but you don't want to have a little money burner to you either, so just be careful. I think Mach 2 has a pace advantage and is going to get the lead and be gone, like Kevin said. Now that Joel Burnt first-time starter, Joel traditionally is incredibly good with first-time starters, and Street Warrior had been working racing in Chicago, but got here for 3 works. And once again, Joel's really good with first-time starters. 3-1-5 in race number 1. And whomever can get a 45 half in this race is probably going to be clear and gone, because you got a lot of 46 and 1s and 3s. And if somebody can bust loose on this track with a 45 half, I'm telling you, they're going to win the race. Race number 2 is off the turf. Now, the distance is okay. In this one, we scratch numbers 1, 3, 6, and 9. 1, 3, 6, and 9 have scratched. No superfecta wagering in race 2. It fell apart a little bit, or did it? Kids Inheritance at like 3.5 to 1 for me with a win bet. My, oh my, show am good.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 4. And I don't think this horse is going to get, really crushed at the windows. I think they're going to bet a couple other horses in here. Kids Inheritance, to me, second off the layoff, going turf back to dirt, shouldn't be a problem. Has good numbers on the main track, decent numbers on a wet track, 3 tries on it, never off the ticket, yet to win. But I love the workout after a race where the horse did all the dirty work early. Worcester came back to win out of that race. This horse was pressing a 22-3 opening quarter. And if you go back to a sloppy race here last August, this horse ran what I think will be a winning race tonight. Got caught on the wire that day, but I think tonight Kids Inheritance gets the job done. I'm going to use the 8 and 7 in second and third. I think the 8's the horse to beat. I think the 8 actually might go favored in the end of the wagering. And then do not sleep on the 7. I think the 7 is super sneaky off a terrible performance last time. That was at Oaklawn Park. They hit the reset button. A couple months later, a couple nice workouts for a good barn. Do not sleep on that horse. 4-8-7.
It's 4-2-7 for me. I think Kelsey rides a wild card in here with the surface switch Redisseur. That's number 2. I take Kids Inheritance for basically all the same reasons Kevin laid out. And we also have a sneaky little speed and fade pattern there, too. So I do think we'll have speed, but this time sustain longer for Kids Inheritance. But with Redisseur, that race against Ricky Bobby that Redisseur ran in last time, now went off at 30 million to 1 and didn't run great, but these ain't them. So you're gonna have a natural uptick because the level of competition is not as good. And number 2 is just really bred well for a distance. So when it says watch that first race, see if like speed looks like it's going to be super tough all night. But if they get out there and they bang heads with each other at 1 1/16, the final football field for low-level claimers gets to be a little difficult. And if that's the case, then I like Redisseur to be sitting off the pace and maybe do some damage. 4, 2, and 7. Race number 3 of 8. We have 8 races on this Saturday, and Father's Day tomorrow. We race at 1 o'clock. And early Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. No scratches, no rider changes in the 3rd race, Mr. Gorg, and it's 7-2-4 for me. We're both on direct action.
Yeah, I'd like to lock in on that morning line at 5 to 1. Wouldn't you? I mean, another turf to dirt, dip in class, good numbers on a wet track. Trainer does well second time off the layoff. Love the outside post on a track like this. Love the natural early speed direct action has. I think he'll go off closer to 3.5 or 3 to 1. I think the 7 gets the money here. Wild card is Vrosky, who just ran here a week ago in good form, 1 for 1 on a wet track for Jose Silva, who is just an awesome trainer. And then I've got the 5 in the mix, Forsaken. I don't think this horse is going to get better. I think this horse goes off much higher than that 7-2 morning line. I go 7-2-5 PA.
Yeah, with direct action, I like that post position for this race. The way this race shakes out with Schmooze, no relation to getting off the schnoz with the Steam team collectively having that first winner. But Schmooze and Davroyski, they're going to assure a good pace. Direct action has that outside speed. Got a lot of speed in this race. I think direct action's post with Barajas, who's done really well for Miguel Angel Silva, just sitting there, and you sit, you pounce, and you win. That's just how it kind of looks from a past performance standpoint. Forsaken is interesting to me, but the thing, the Forsaken's only beaten Archibreds, but we have a conspicuous class drop here that I think is going to make a difference. And this horse also has won before at this distance, but with all that speed, you just got to be careful if you're on the lead. Just because the track looked like it was speed favoring race number 1 doesn't mean it will be race 2 with low-level claim. claimers beating each other up. So this there could be an upset in this race. 7-2-4 for me. Kevin and I both fancy number 7, Direct Action. Let's get on to the 4th race, and this one is off the turf, sadly off the turf, and it begins our second pick 5. This is the final 5, so it's the penultimate leg of the first 5, and the lid lifter for the final 5. Distance is okay. We're off the turf. Number 5, Scooter's Boy, is picked up by Sophia Barandella. Race 5, Barandella rides, and we scratched number 6, who was looking to win 2 in a row. With or without shake-up, I was on Kennesaw. Like Kennesaw here with the Q. Larry Ravelli trains this one, and we've either seen with Ravelli or Anthony Granitz shipping a horse from Indiana. We have some hit-and-run terrorism that's taking place here. It's like, we're going to come to your racetrack, we're going to beat all your horses, we're going to take the money, and then we're going to go home. And it's completely legal to do that. We wish you would stay. We happen to think we have a nice racetrack, but I think Kennesaw is going to be the first of those. 4-1-7.
I didn't know what to do. I fell into this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this horse goes off significantly lower than the 5-1 morning line, but 41% second time off the layoff for Ravelli is super hard for me to get over. I think the horse can get a nice trip from just off the pace. The horse I wanted to pick, you and I talked about this about an hour ago, was the 9, Ship It Red, who I think actually goes off higher than that 3-1 morning line. Ship It Red's going to get that outside pace pressing trip that wins on a wet track, so I'm not going to overlook this horse in my exotic wagers. And then I didn't know what to do with the inside 2. I've got the 1 in third, but Driscoll the 2, if he gets loose, I'm telling you, at a big price, that horse can win. So I go 4-9-1-2, very slight lean to number 4.
Where are the Bet Club win wagers falling? Do we have any yet?
We have a pick 5. We have an exacta box in race 5.
Sweet.
And then we have a solid win bet in race 7 on the horse that you and Angela and myself are on together.
Beautiful.
Smarty be good. So the Steam team will unite today.
In race number 5, I pick it to 5-9-3 here with a big field. What's your Bet Club exacta box? And
5 and 7.
5-7?
Yeah, I've got the speed of Dorothy Crowfoot and the, I believe, late charge of Oh Babe, who I think will sit off what could be a very alacritive early pace. I've got the 9 in third. I think the 9 has a decent chance to hit that trifecta at 8-1. So keep an eye on that horse. I know you fancy the 9 a little bit. Dorothy Crowfoot ran so good last time. She's just a 3-year-old. She's facing older. It's Ravelli again. It's second time off the layoff again. And the fact that Eduardo Gallardo's back riding is incredible. This guy's played through a lot of pain this year. This has to be a mount where this guy not only wants to win for obvious reasons now, here, but he also wants to show Larry Ravelli that when he ships the horses in, I'm your guy, and this is a great opportunity. So I go 5, 7, and 9.
And 5-9-3 for me. I'm going to ride the Larry Ravelli train until it jumps the tracks and I lose a finger. So I'm going to ride that Ravelli ship and leave, hit and run bit, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to ride it until it loses. So far it's 2 for 2 for me, and I think it may be 2 for 2 to start this card. The one here would be Dorothy Crowfoot with that tightener at Hawthorne. And here we come. But hot as a pistol. This horse is third off the layoff and has 4 victories at Canterbury Park, 1 of 3 at the distance, and the 7-year-olds made $250,000. So hot as a pistol. Here we are. You can tag the one for $20,000, but this is a $12,000 optional claimer with a purse of $30,000. As we go here at Canterbury, this is a nice race.
It is.
And hot as a pistol comes into the race hot and improving. So I'm definitely using the 5, 7, and 9. The 5 and 9 for sure in my final 5, but 5-9-3 will be my selections. Race number 6 with Today at the Races, provided by Touchdown Tile and touchdowntile.com. And this one's off the turf. Now, race number 6. The distance is 1 mile. So 7.5 on the turf at CBY. We go to 1 mile. And we scratch numbers 1 and 9. So Roberto Morales' horse on the outside, Sharma D, this one for Miguel Angel Silva, this one gets in. The 13 clips in. Scratch 9 and 1. Who do you like?
Sticking with you. I'm riding that same train, the Ravelli train, hoping we can really crush today on a horse that looks like he's pretty versatile. Cloudy Day, bet the gray, right? Giano. This horse ran a nice second against maiden claimers last time in Chicago. Career best effort was back in March on the dirt there. I think the horse has some versatility, likely charges in from off the pace, and I think with the 2 and the 3 both wanting to go to the front, I think the pace is honest. I think the 5 can come get it all. 5, 2, and 6.
Yeah, with that 5 Giano here from Chicago, I mean, we have a class drop, and we do have a couple of performances where the horse ran second, including one where Giano got very, very close. And you see, that's the problem here is that, Lucky Supernova just ran second, but I recall the race, and this one was never going to win. Burn Boss is 0 for 15. You just don't have a lot in here that have any form of consistent competitive spirit. Now Charmady, this one getting in. This one at Canterbury ran third, beaten 3 and change. Before that, caught a couple of wet tracks and ran well one time. So don't just look past the buyer speed figures and just look for competitive nature. And those, it's a money game. So it's top 3 pay the bills in the barn, and that's what you want your horses to do, no matter what the buyer speed figures say. And Charmady has kind of found a way to do that at least 2 of the last 3 times. So who knows with where this track's going to be race number 6. Like, is it going to continue to rain? Is it going to dry out and be soupy and thick and stuff? This is where it could get wild in a big field. 5, 12, 3 for me. 5, 12, 3 for me. I'm going to put professional grade in second. The 7th is our penultimate and was set to be our final turf race. And, man, that was going to be a doozy. It's still going to be okay, but we're off the turf. Distance okay. 2 picked up by Barandella. Barandella rides number 2. Scratch numbers 8, 9, and 12. 8, 9, and 12. And 11, Snow Flurry, is now ridden by Chelsea Bailey. Welcome back, Chelsea Bailey. 4-1-3 for me.
Yeah, I go back to that debut for the 4, Smarty Be Good, on a good track, $115,000 maiden race in Arkansas at Oaklawn, and this horse ran an unbelievably good race. I get it. The horse got crushed in the end, finished towards the back of the pack. You go 22 flat against $115,000 maidens, you can get the lead here. I know the 1's got speed. I know the 3 has speed. They don't have Smarty Be Good speed. Smarty Be Good's going to get a lead here and going to run this group right into the ground. My strongest opinion on the card is the 4 in race 7, 4, 1, and 5.
Yeah, I agree. It's Smarty Be Good from the center obviously has to pop, okay? So that's a big part of the equation. Because Russian to the Wire and Red Voila and maybe some others have a little bit of speed here. Now Tapatera at 4-1 on the morning line. This one has yet to finish in the top 3. The reason I bring it up is because this horse last raced at Churchill Downs. So you're going to see some handicappers who see that, and they're like, Churchill Downs, Canterbury. So I think that horse is going to take more money than some people think, and that'd be okay because I'd be ready to go against it. But in race number 7 for me, I'm going to go with Smarty Be Good. 4-1-3 for me. 4-1-3 for me. Summer Russ. I was interested in that one, but that one scratched. So, therefore, onward to the finale. And in the finale, we do have a scratch. Scratch number 3, Bahamian Native. I like number 4, Run With Heart. Angela's on number 2, Army Kid. Kevin's on number 1, Sir Otto. So the Steam team's having a tough time figuring this one out, KG.
Good race, though, right? Young horses, upside galore, good bloodlines. I've got the son of Arrowgate, 5-1, pinned on the inside with Elval. I love this horse. Now, last time out, I went back and watched that race. You can just toss it off the Lasix because it was a stakes race.
Oh, geez.
In a sprint. We're bred to go the distance. This is the grandson of Tappet. This is the son of Arrowgate. This is a horse that has a win in a $62,000 maiden claimer at Oaklawn Park. Sits just off the pace. Pounces. I think the 2 is super intriguing. Angie's horse. I've got your 4 in the mix. And the horse that you don't want to overlook for the trifecta is the 8, Cross the Causeway. Mac Robertson, Carmona, 2 starts in 2022. Came back last year, ran huge, and has been on the bench for nearly a year. The workouts tell me that horse might be very ready to go. 1, 2, 8, and 4.
I'm going to take Run with Heart because I think Joel is like I said. Joel is good with maidens, and Joel's good. Joel Burnt, all right, 3-2. Joel Burnt, one of the great trainers in the history of the track, is good with all form of equine athlete. But when the purses start to get up there around 30, and you got some talented maidens and stakes races, Joel's as good as we've seen at this racetrack over the last 30 years. And I think Run with Heart is shaping up to be one of those. And here's why. Is the only bad races you have here for Run with Heart, one was on the turf. Okay, didn't dig the turf. The other was on the poly track at Turfway. The rest, I think, win this race. Now we're getting a wet track here, so it's going to be the first time this one's on a wet track, so there's a built-in excuse. But I like the speed angle, I like the outfit, and I like Run with Heart against this level of competition. So I'm going to pick it 4-2-6. Once again, an early happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. We will be back at it tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Father's Day racing with a bunch of food trucks and stuff like that. And for Angela Herman and Kevin Gorg, I'm Paul Allen. You can see the horses are milling about, preparing to get saddled or walk out to the paddock. We have a sloppy main track and no turf racing. The rain's coming down dramatically harder, as you can see from one of the cameras in the paddock. So once again, sloppy main track, and pay attention to this first race, see which lanes are good, and we got plenty of money here. Come on and take it. Ladies and gentlemen, Canterbury Park bugler Sir Swimmerd Dykert brings them onto the track for the first. Thank you, buddy. Stay dry. To the sloppy main track for the first race, we have no scratches and we have no rider changes. They'll be to the gate about 3 minutes from now. Saturday racing is provided by Continental Diamond and the Minnesota Lottery. We also have featured wine every Saturday. $2 off all by-the-glass wine and sparkling varieties, including Kim Crawford, Meiomi, Woodbridge, and Ruffino. The first race is provided by Loeffler, the Upper Midwest's largest privately owned business technology and service provider.
All right, fans, time for that first five with the industry low 10% takeout. My biggest fears are coming to fruition right before my very eyes. I was worried about the one horse being a steamer. That horse has been getting bet the entire time, but I'm not backing down. I'm taking Mach 2 as my single. I think this horse is sitting on a win. Heartbreaker last time. I bet him at 6-1. Lost a photo. Makes amends today with that patented early speed. In race 2, if we can survive the first leg with the single, I'll use 4, 7, and 8. I like Kids Inheritance, the 4. As one of the field's more juicy prices in there is my top pick. 4, 7, 8 in race 2. Race 3, 2, 5, and 7. Top pick in the race, it will be the 7 horse to the outside, Direct Action. Then we're going to go with 1, 4, and 9 in race 4. And we all fell into the 4 there with Ravelli, who could have a nice night here in Shakopee. And then we'll close it out with 5, 7, and 9. Power play being the 5. Dorothy Crowfoot. So that's the ticket. It's a beauty. $40.50. You can play my ticket. You can modify it. If you're going to add anybody, that horse on screen right now is getting a lot of bet for a first-time starter on a sloppy track. And we've seen Joel Burnt win with these types before. So that's something you have to consider. But one thing we know for absolute certainty is you can't win it if you don't get in it. The pick 5s have been juicy. We're 2 minutes away. Have a great night and good luck here at Canterbury Park.
It's race time. Set to splash with the first 5. Our first of 2 pick 5s, 10% takeout, nation low. Our featured groups include Marion Miller's Celebration of Life. And those here for Taste of Canterbury, enjoying the martinis and the tapas. Sloppy and off. Mach 2, the first favorite. Street Warrior, 2-1. Second choice. Here comes Mach 2, wearing Barry and Joni's colors. And who does it better? Couple in here debuting, 1 and 4. 6-pack Saturday. And they're racing. Mach 2 wins the start. Mach 2, pedal to the metal, right to the lead, to the inside of Bear Share. Now the first-time starter, Street Warrior, from 4th to 3rd to 2nd, and puts the head in front as they sprint up the Canterbury Park barn side. 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, and who does it better is far out of it. The top 3 have pulled away from the other 3, and Street Warrior and Eddie G show the way. Mach 2, the favorite alongside, definitely still very much in the thick of it, but Street Warrior came to play. After that, we come back to Bear Share, getting outrun far clear from firster My Boy Bomber. Who does it better? Just Put Make It Burn in last, and they have a quarter of a mile to go. And at 2.5 to 1, Street Warrior and Gallardo trying to sail gate to wire, racing in path 3. Outside of that is Mach 2. Then on the inside, My Boy Bomber is running on nicely late, but far out of it. And Street Warrior is going to debut and splash to victory, spotless cap to boot. Street Warrior, very, very impressive. 1-3-4 in race 1. Number 1, Street Warrior, ran first. 1-3-4-6, and it's unofficial. 111.03 in the slop. The first is official. 1-3 exacta, $5.60. Trifecta, $13.65. The first superfecta, $11 and change for a dime. Race number 2 is courtesy of Apple Autos, the official vehicle supplier to Canterbury Park. We're off the turf for race number 2. Distance is okay off the turf for the second to begin our first pick 4. In the second, scratch numbers 1, 3, 6, and 9. 1, 3, 6, and 9. Have scratch from race 2, meaning no superfecta wagering. . Just one look, that's all it took for Street Warrior. The Warrior came out to play, yay, and heads to the winner's circle with Eduardo Gallardo. The winning owners, Suzanne Stables, who also bred this guy in Minnesota, and Street Warrior is a 3-year-old chestnut son of Barbados out of Some Silver Gal. Race number 2, also courtesy of Xfinity Comcast and XfinityMobile.com. And they're racing. Mach 2 wins the start. Mach 2 pedal to the metal, right to the lead to the inside of Bear Share. Now the first-time starter, Street Warrior, from 4th to 3rd to 2nd, and puts the head in front as they sprint up the Canterbury Park barn side. 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, and who does it better is far out of it. The top 3 have pulled away from the other 3, and Street Warrior and Eddie G show the way. Mach 2, the favorite alongside, definitely still very much in the thick of it, but Street Warrior came to play. After that, we come back to Bear Share, getting outrun far clear from firster, My Boy Bomber. Who does it better? Just Put Make It Burn in last, and they have a quarter of a mile to go. And at 2.5 to 1, Street Warrior and Gallardo trying to sail gate to wire, racing in path 3. Outside of that is Mach 2. Then on the inside, My Boy Bomber is running on nicely late, but far out of it. And Street Warrior is going to debut and splash to victory, spotless cap to boot. Street Warrior, very, very impressive. 1-3-4 in race 1. Number 1, Street Warrior, ran first. Ladies and gentlemen, due to the constant rain today at Canterbury Park, we have canceled our final 7 races. Stand by for wagering information on the wagers that you have made beginning in race 1. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, racing at Canterbury has been canceled for the final 7 races due to the rain we have had all day in Shakopee, compromising the dirt track. We will have a payoff information for you coming up very shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, regarding the cancellation and the payoffs, here's how the payoffs work per Minnesota Racing Commission rules. MRC rules indicate the doubles from race number 1. If you played a double in race number 1 using number 1, you receive a all in the second leg. You receive an all in the second leg. So the doubles pay 1 with all. Otherwise, per MRC rules, everything else is a refund, including pick 3, 4, and 5 action that began race number 1. We are refunding all pick 3, 4, and 5s from race number 1. And we also are refunding everything the rest of the day, beginning race number 2. We apologize for the inconvenience, and hopefully we'll see you here tomorrow for Father's Day festivities, rain-free, at Canterbury Park. We begin at 1 o'clock.